the bit would be I guess I should pull in a little bit. Randy Savage doing like a reading of Not Like Us. So it'd go. Okay, I got it. Let's go.
Bucka, ooh yeah, it's got a weird case, yeah. Why is he around? Certified lover boy, certified.
It's good.
Something like that.
It's good,
Something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I like
Just
that.
do like a reading of the.
You should do that.
Bucka, ooh, I don't like that. Why is he around? Certified lover boy, certified.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Okay. All right.
What a way to start.
What a way. Maybe I'll just cut that out.
Okay.
So we don't have yelled over and over.
You did it again. You did it
All right,
again.
we'll start here. I'll just cut that.
Just
stuff
screamed.
For real. This is the real. This is the real one. What's up, brewskis? My name is Marco Dupa. And that guy right there, that's Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Yeah, buddy.
Tonight's brew is from... get this can out of the way. The Walking Tree Brewery. It's their Treasure Kolsch. And Obi's going to have a little bit more about that after the break. You see that right there?
I see that.
What's on tap for tonight? Well, if you've been into a Chipotle lately, you may notice a few things. You may notice that you're probably walking out of there still hungry and less money in your pocket. And the internet and citizens alike, I don't think they're going to stand for this any longer.
Yeah.
And I think there is on the horizon a Chipotle revolution happening.
Wow.
And I think this is kind of coinciding with a lot of different fast casual / like low tier restaurants.
Okay.
Red Lobster's closing its doors.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them.
They're filing for bankruptcy.
Yeah. And, they're framing it as like a temporary closure for some of the places. But really?
Yeah.
You think?
Right. And then I just found this out. The best of the low tier restaurants, Chili's.
I mean, bar none. If you don't believe that, if you're like Team Applebee's,
No, get so far away from me.
Argue with the wall.
Yeah. If you're Team Applebee's,
And then eat the drywall because that's what you're eating at Applebee's.
probably better than what you're eating at Applebee's.
Yeah, no.
So we're gonna talk about that because it's been ongoing. And
yeah.
I think it's insane.
Yeah.
And it needs to be talked about.
Okay. Well, in other important news, we're going to be talking about the celebrity blackouts recently.
Probably the more important news.
Maybe. Debatable.
Nothing's more important than Chili's. Nothing's more important than Chili's.
But yeah, we'll be talking about the recent movement on specifically spearheaded by TikTok about the celebrity blackout 2024 / I think it's the Chop Chop movement they're calling it.
Chop Chop. Chop Chop movie boy.
So yeah, we'll be talking about that a little bit as well.
And then in lighter news, depending on who you ask, Assassin's Creed has finally announced their newest iteration, Assassin's Creed Shadows. And you're going to be playing as two protagonists. And they're two of the internet's favorite kind of protagonists. A black man and a woman.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So we're going to talk about that.
In Japan.
The much anticipated and highly requested samurai / ninja Assassin's Creed is finally here. But it may not be in the way that some people incels.
Black Superman?
Black Samurai wanted. So, we got a lot to get into, so let's get this ball rolling.
All right.
It's episode 426 of the One Beer In podcast.
Ah, yeah. Nobody knows what we're talking about.
So good. Maybe I'll do a TikTok.
That'd be good.
Did you see my other one?
I liked it.
Stupid little. Oh yeah, you did. That stupid little voiceover topped out at like 730 views.
Wow.
With nothing. I swear, man. The algorithm. That's why the government wants that algorithm so badly.
Yeah.
Because they want to be able to spread
their misinformation
as widely and freely as my stupid little voiceovers get spread.
Sure.
Because
they want to give that technology to the U.S. Army,
right,
to start recruiting.
Right. It's unbelievable, actually. The how quickly that, because I mean some of the stuff. I mean, our last one's doing really well.
Yeah. I mean, we should say.
Appreciate
everyone on TikTok. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been posting some more on there. If you're not following us yet, go ahead and follow us at One Beer In everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we've been trying to do a bit of shorts to give people an idea of what the episode's about.
Mm-hmm.
So go out there, like it, share it,
and subscribe to it.
Sure, why not?
All right, let's get rocking, baby. Clink it up.
Clink.
Wow. Okay.
Kolshi.
Interesting. All right, Obi, you got a little bit more about what we're drinking tonight?
I thankfully do, because we have yet another cold read on the can.
Woo!
It's like old times. Yeah. This is from, I don't know what that was. This is from Walking Tree Brewery.
I'm working on a Toad impression.
Oh, okay. Sherry, can you?
That's good.
Yeah. She was doing that in Japan a lot. It was great. Treasure Kolsch, 5.0% ABV. And it says, stay rooted and please drink responsibly. It is a certified, Brewers Association certified, independent craft beer.
All right.
Cold read goes as follows. Tasting notes are citrus, melon, and thank you. And bready. Treasure Kolsch is a beer you can easily have a few of while you are searching for booty. Be it sunken in the sea or...
Sorry, I got distracted.
Oh, no.
Searching for booty.
Oh, they're going further. Be it sunken in the sea or lying on the beach.
Oh, wow. They leaned into it.
Yeah. A crisp ale featuring a light maltiness with a subtle bready sweetness. Pairs well with sporting events, a walk with your dog, or all kinds of pirate activity. Stay rooted out there. Please recycle.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it, folks.
This can's horny.
These guys really want you to go out there and get some ass.
It's true.
That's what they're asking you to do while drinking this Kolsch.
Yeah. Walk your dog too. You know.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into it, okay? Because we got a lot to talk about. Yeah. We got a lot to talk about here.
We've been running longer lately.
Mm-hmm.
We should try to, let the conversation go as long as the people need it to.
Yeah. But
just try to, curtail it a little bit.
Curtail.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. So let's do that. I've been seeing a lot of posts about this, and I guess it's becoming. It started off as like just a joke, just a bit on the internet. Years ago, this is something that people have been talking about for years, right? It's been slowly, and it's a reflection of where we are, I guess, in society. Chipotle is the what is that? Chipotle is like the example, like there's a better word for it, but it is the thing that everybody like. It perfectly reflects what's happening as far as economic anxiety, inflation, price gouging.
It's the culmination of all that.
Yeah,
it is the perfect example of that. The shrinkflation. Yeah, the lowered quality standards.
Dude, have I said my conspiracy, my shrinkflation conspiracy theory?
I don't think you have.
This is the only one that I truly believe is happening. I think shrinkflation is happening specifically with deodorant.
Okay. I mean, it's been proven to be happening with other things too.
Yeah, no, right, true. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. All right, but this is well, I guess I should say this is one that hasn't been proven yet.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, it's right around the corner.
Yeah.
They're putting less deodorant, and I know what you're gonna say. Maybe you stink more, Marco. And that's not the case, because I have a very specific, some would say almost autistic way that I apply deodorant.
Yeah.
And it's the same way it's been for years.
It's been.
I count. So I know exactly how much deodorant I'm putting on every time.
Okay.
And let me tell you something, man. I feel like I'm spending more money.
You want to tell us the strategy, or is that a trade secret?
No, it's not. It's 5 to 6 strokes.
Okay.
And it's
then how many strokes of deodorant do you put on?
Yeah. So
I'm sorry, it's the cold.
I think yeah.
It's an aphrodisiac.
I think that one's really happening.
Okay.
So we're gonna. I'm telling you.
Now I assume you're using like a stick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stick deodorant. Okay.
Yeah. It's happening. I'm telling you.
Okay.
I'm telling you. Chipotle.
Speaking of being long-winded on these shows.
Chipotle. Let's do this.
Chipotle.
Chipotle.
Little did we know that may have been like the mountain that they have fallen from.
Right.
The prominence that they were at that point.
I mean, people used to, back in the day, they would get their food, and then people would spend extra on, like, spending extra on guac was the only thing that you spent extra on. People would be like, fuck it, I got money.
Yeah.
I'm gonna spend extra on the guacamole because it's so good. It's Chipotle. I don't care.
Yeah.
I got bags like that, bro.
Yeah.
Now, just walking into the place and they're starting to grab in your pockets and be like, "What kind of change you got in there?"
Yeah.
Just ripping loose change out of your pockets the minute you walk in there.
I remember when it was hard to finish a bowl.
Yeah, man. It would put me down.
Yeah.
Put me down.
Forget about a burrito.
Like, oh my God, there's so much rice in this bowl. It's crazy. Burritos, dude, you would bite into a pocket of rice. You'd be like, how did they fit all this food into this? I remember thinking, like, there was no other burrito, no other, like, fast casual kind of, Tex-Mex, Mexican thing where the burrito was basically just a ball of food. It wasn't even like a perfectly wrapped, most burritos have, like, they're like a cylinder almost.
Yeah.
The Chipotle burrito was basically just a mass. Mm-hmm. That the expert burrito rollers at Chipotle were able to put this thing together and then wrap it in that tinfoil.
Yeah.
And now you fast forward to 2024 and things are dire, brother. They're dire. Everybody's getting hurt out there, and Chipotle, I don't know, man. They're taking a tactic that I don't see it. I don't see them winning in the long run.
Yeah. Well, explain how this became like a viral thing, because this has been like murmurs amongst people who, amongst the frequent Chipotleers.
Yeah.
I which am not one anymore.
Yeah.
I had a bad experience in 2021. I remember the day.
We'll never forget.
It was for New Year's Eve. I decided for dinner to have some Chipotle.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then I missed all of New Year's Eve, all the festivities that were planned. Because I was on the toilet. So since then, I've sworn off the stuff as much as I did enjoy it back in the day. But explain for the people why it has now reached this crescendo point with TikTok and Twitter and everyone else now. It's gone viral for being so bad.
Yeah. I think it's because TikTok and Twitter and social media in general is the real all powerful connector of human experiences.
Yeah.
Right. So you may go to Chipotle and say, this kind of looks a little skimpy. You know, I feel like they didn't really hook it up this
The
time.
spoons are smaller.
Right. But not until people start posting and going, am I crazy or is this going on?
Yeah.
Then you start seeing this slow build of like more and more people. When something becomes a meme, you're in trouble because now it's part of the zeitgeist. Now people are making jokes. Now it's like subliminal advertising. It's sitting in the back of your mind. So when you go to Chipotle,
Happened to Drake.
right. Exactly. So when you step into a Chipotle line and you're looking at how they're scooping that shit and you're going, you know what? I remember those jokes and those memes and those TikToks. And now you're looking at the portions and you're going, huh, they are skimpy.
And even if they're not, it's still in your head. So you're going, that's not as much as I usually get.
Right. So basically how this came to be was this slow burn campaign turned into jokes, turned into memes, turned into TikToks, turned into bigger and bigger influencers also starting to say like, hey, you know,
What's the deal?
Finally, now we have a full-on campaign against Chipotle, spearheaded by a couple of big content creators. I don't remember their names, so I apologize. It's not like I write these things down. Get catchier usernames. Well, one of which let me rephrase. Keith Lee did not spearhead this movement.
Sure.
Keith Lee of TikTok food influencer / former MMA fighter fame.
Yeah.
You guys know who Keith Lee is. If you don't, just go on TikTok. Everybody talks about Keith Lee. He's become a massive food influencer. He is, in my opinion, probably the most influential food content creator on the platform. I mean, he can sway the direction of
he's a flavor maker, if you will.
I mean, literally shut down cities.
Yeah.
So he
tastemaker.
Flavor saver.
He's a flavor saver.
He's a flavor saver.
Yeah.
He goes back to Chipotle because, you know, he says in his video that he used to really love Chipotle before he became this big, like, famous content creator. And he's like, I always loved to go to Chipotle. And I've been seeing all these people talk about the quality and how it's dropped. Let me check it out. He goes and, I mean, obliterates his food order. People are, and he's like, they're right. Like, you're spending a lot of money for what is not what it used to be, basically.
Sure.
Flat out, simply just not what it used to be. And I, for one, from my own personal experience, can tell you that the first signs of this shift I saw was when they started giving you like a spit's worth of the vinaigrette. I love the Chipotle vinaigrette. It's so good. It can, even if you get like a bowl of just, you're like, what am I supposed to do with this? Yeah. You drop that vinaigrette on it and it's like, man.
Wakes it up.
Oh, it's so
I've never done the vinaigrette.
Oh my goodness. Well, you never will, but we can make it. I found a recipe for it.
Okay.
So I'm going to make it at home. And that's where we are, man. I'd rather just make it at home because I swear to God, dude, those little like plastic ramekins.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say, it wouldn't be like flowing over the cup, but it would be a substantial enough that I could take some home and put it on something else.
Yeah.
Now, dude, I swear to you.
It's a thin bowl.
It's in the same cup.
Yeah.
So you can see the difference. That's the problem. Put it in a smaller cup and it won't look as bad. But put it in the same cup.
Yeah.
I put it on my bowl. I got to go back and get another one. And man, the attitude that I get from these Chipotle workers, I'm like, bro, we're on the same side. Don't make me come back there and slap the shit out of you. All you're doing is pressing buttons.
Yeah.
Okay? Why do you care?
It's vinaigrette. It's not caviar.
Right. But you know what? Former Chipotle workers have gone on TikTok and they're like, we're watched by our managers.
I'm sure they are.
And if we give extra sauces, if we put extra portions on the food, they come after us for that. So I implore you, if you haven't, just go on TikTok, Google Chipotle at this point. You'll see all these videos of people getting like crazy bad portions, low quality food, and that's the other thing. It's not just the portions; it's the quality of the food has gone down.
Well, and that's what I was going to mention too. Is like prices going up is universal. There have been people complaining about that for across all of fast food, down to McDonald's.
Yeah.
Like, people are saying the prices are getting a little crazy now.
Yeah.
But what you don't hear from those other places, including and like, I mean no slight by saying McDonald's is like the lowest tier, but the fact that they are able to at least sustain their level of quality.
Right.
It's still what it is and what it has always been.
Right. Yeah.
It's just more expensive, which sucks on its own merits. But if it's more expensive and the quality is lower, you're getting less and it's worse.
Yeah.
It's like that's a double whammy that's going to start getting people to start posting on TikTok and Twitter.
And these Chipotle as a company should be ashamed of themselves. For their credit, they have, or I guess I shouldn't say for their credit, but they released a statement basically saying that our portions have been the same, and we're not really hearing anybody complain about the quality of the food. Really,
what?
It's like a crazy. Actually,
then why are they
try to find that statement for me? Because
then why are they commenting in the first place if they aren't hearing people complain?
Exactly, his perspective. I think it was on an earnings call, and to have that perspective, while you're exactly right. While people are actively campaigning against them, to be like, it's all bullshit.
Yeah,
is insane. Fuck. I was trying to think of this other thing that I was trying to think about.
Well, they're facing boycotts, apparently.
Yeah, no, dude. So okay, yeah, thank you. That's what I was trying to think about. So at this point now, people are being rallied to either go into a Chipotle, start ordering your food, and if the portions don't look right, bounce in the middle of ordering your food. And if you don't want to do that, just stop going to Chipotle altogether.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to show them that it's enough is enough.
Sure.
So another campaign that's been going on is going into the App Store and downvoting it to hell.
Yeah.
It used to have like a 5-star rating. They've brought it down to like a 4.6, which is, if you know anything about how these things work, that's thousands of reviews.
Yeah.
To move that number that much is thousands of reviews.
Sure.
So it's not like they're not seeing what's happening. It's rising to the level of, we need to say something about this. We need to do something about this.
Yeah.
Now, does it rise to the point that they give more food, change the quality of the... I don't know. I will say that it's not unheard of for a company to go, you know what? The people are right. And it's time to make a change. I'm thinking about Domino's, like 10, 15 years ago, when they were like, in an unprecedented move.
Yeah, our pizza sucks.
But we changed it.
You guys are right.
It doesn't suck.
Yeah. And it doesn't suck anymore.
And they changed it, and it didn't suck anymore.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man.
They used to be worse than Pizza Hut.
Yeah, it's crazy. People used to, I don't even want to think about how bad Domino's used to be.
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know. I think you just pulled up something that said they hit their...
Well, look, as of April 25th of this year, 2024, headline from Fast Company's Chipotle stock price just hit an all-time high, even as other chains struggle to stay afloat.
Crazy.
So they're fine.
Yeah.
That's what they mean by they haven't heard complaints.
Right.
Because people are still buying their stuff,
right.
at least for now.
Yeah.
It may take like a quarter for them to see any substantial change, and even then, it may not be enough for them to move the needle.
Yeah,
this seems like a PR problem.
Too.
Yeah, this seems more like a PR problem to me than a business problem.
Yeah,
because it's a perception thing, and like we were saying beforehand, the more this gains traction, the more people, even if the sizes aren't different, even if the quality is the same, the perception is that you're getting a lesser product.
Yeah. I for one do not believe them when they say that the portions have been the same. I don't believe that for a second. Not even just from a oh, they're charging us more money and in the food, blah, 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 blah. Not even from like a complaining standpoint, but just like my eyes and stomach.
Yeah.
There's no way they're giving the same portions.
Well,
I just don't believe it.
To expand it onto a much larger scope, it's what we talked about before. I don't remember if it was on the air or not, but we were talking like about politics and, technically the economy is in a better place than it's been in a long time.
Right.
But the people aren't feeling it.
Right.
You're not feeling it when you go to the grocery store. You're not feeling it when you go to the gas pump.
Yeah.
If you're not feeling it, the statistics don't really matter.
Right.
Because perception really is like 9/10 of it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we were just watching. They're talking about the economy and how it's the
Dow's up, baby.
Yeah, and the inflation has basically slowed to a crawl.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like it though.
No.
People are still struggling.
No, and
prices are still really high.
You have to be, even if you're Chipotle and you don't care, you have to be sympathetic to people going out here and saying all this stuff, because it will eventually, if this picks up steam and people continue on this campaign, it will get to the point where they actually have to do something, whether it's just a PR move of like, we hear you and we are going to reassess things, and then don't do anything but pretend like they're gonna. They have to do something.
I mean, they could weave this into gold, in my opinion. From an advertiser's perspective. I'm not even in PR, but I have some perspective here. All they got to do is turn it and make their own TikTok and say like, look, this is how we make our food. This is how much we use. This is exactly how much it is. Every time. We've done it since, 1995 or whatever it is. And show people making it and say, like, this is the science behind what we do. It's this standard all the time. If your specific Chipotle is not living up to that standard, text us or call us here.
Yeah.
And we'll look into it.
Yeah.
Or say, like, for a limited time, we're going to double the meat for no extra charge.
Right.
And therefore, like, you will get even more than you're already getting.
I mean, their stock hit an all-time high.
Right.
It seems like they
can do it. They can do it. And I think that'll swap out the perception at least a little bit.
I do think that's interesting, because it's kind of like in government when, big politicians are like, don't blame the federal government, talk to your local officials. Because the parent company of Chipotle can be like, this is the standard that all of these restaurants should be at.
Right.
If yours isn't, then talk to, whoever owns that franchise or whatever local affiliate or representative is there. But this is the standard that quality needs to be.
Yeah. Well, and even if it requires something as simple as like every Chipotle is going to get like color-coded spoons. If you see the color-coded spoon, you're getting a certain amount of food.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, these are measured out.
Yeah.
And therefore, there is a trust involved. Not even trust. There is an observational trust involved in somebody making your food. Because you're like, yeah, that's the green spoon. The green spoon is however many ounces of food.
Dude, I'll just say this as far as Chipotle is concerned. I don't think there is any quality control when it comes to... I think the quality control for Chipotle is just as bad as the quality control for Burger King's.
I think it's worse.
No, Burger King is bad.
oh, right. I forgot your beef with... your beef with Burger King.
No, I think the quality control or lack thereof
Yeah.
is pretty bad at both of these places.
Sure. Yeah.
The last time I went to Chipotle, I mean, yeah, the portions were bad.
You don't gotta say it again,
dude. The vinaigrette, but no, I had one more thing to add to that.
Oh, I thought you meant your Burger King story.
Oh, not the Burger King story. No. I don't need to. I won't tell that again. You guys can listen to
the
that.
chicken sandwich,
dude. The chicken
unacceptable.
Unacceptable. And he was like, I don't know what to tell you.
Sorry,
like,
man.
Hey, here's a fresh one. I'm like, then why didn't you just give me that from the jump?
It would have taken 10 seconds.
God.
Yes.
But
the vinaigrette.
Similar with this, I get a bag of chips, and now say what you will about Chipotle, but those chips are so good. They do like
they
a
were
lime
my
thing.
favorite.
Oh my goodness!
You get the almost soggy one with extra lime salt on.
Talk
my
about
goodness.
It. That's right.
Still a little warm.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, well, I get this bag stale. got to go up and
They're
be
like
hey, man,
CDs.
dude, just kind of, And I go up and I ask the guy for... Now, first of all, if anybody who's been to a Chipotle, you know how they're shaped. You know what happens. You walk through the line.
One way in, one way out.
Exactly. So I go back. I'm not going through the line again because I'm not going to cause confusion. I'm not going to get back in the line. I'm just going to walk up to the register and talk to the guy. He's standing right there.
They grab the chips from there anyway.
Exactly.
They're behind them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I walk up and this guy, like... First of all, he ignores me for a little bit. This fucking guy.
Yeah.
This guy.
He knew you were there.
Oh, he knew I was there.
He didn't want to deal with you.
Yeah.
He was hoping you'd walk away.
Because he knows I have nothing. The only thing I have in my hand is the bag of chips that I'm going to return.
Yeah.
So he knows that it's only a complaint coming. I'm not going to walk up and be like, yo, you had these chips.
Thanks.
These chips are so good. I just wanted you to know.
Yeah.
So he ignores me for a little
Compliments to the chef.
He takes another order or cashes out another order. Finally, I have to like step in his eye line and be like, hey, man, what's up? Because I'm not one of these people that like, listen, it takes a lot for me to complain. I don't send food back mostly.
Sure.
No. Okay, hold on.
Sure about that?
Okay, hold up. I mean at restaurants.
Okay.
I don't complain at restaurants usually.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to send food back.
Sure. Yeah,
it takes a lot for me to be like, hey, can you correct this? I'll eat, literally, a lot of shit before I say something. But... once I get up, I'm like, well, I got up, and this is an injustice that will not stand. So I'm not going away. If you want to cause a problem, we can do that. But guess what? I'm not going anywhere.
Sure.
So I get up, and I get right in his face, and I'm like, hey, man, can I get another bag of chips? And, like, dude, the way... Have you ever seen that? It's like a Vine of this girl, and she's like an airline... She's like a stewardess.
Mm-hmm. Flight attendant.
Sorry, I apologize.
Wow.
I apologize. This is still in my...
What are you, a boomer?
It's still in my vocabulary. I don't really call them anything. I'm just like, hey, nice person. Need help. Flight attendant. And she's like snatching the ticket out of your hand. She's like she's annoyed with you. I don't know if maybe I'll post the little GIF here because it's a really famous GIF now. That's the way he didn't snatch it out of my hand because I would have been like, hey, man, we got a fucking problem. But he didn't snatch it out of my hand, but he took it and he like snatched it off the rack and was like, here you go. Like, what's the problem? Why are you being so weird and mean about this?
You stressed out, buddy?
Yeah, like
you okay?
This isn't like just make them better and then we won't, or don't leave the stale ones on the fucking shelf.
Yeah.
And you want to like rotate them out, bro.
That wasn't a you problem. That was a him problem.
Yeah. But dude, it's this location specifically. It's in... where is it? Is it the university one?
Call him out.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna call him out. I just have to remember which location. Yeah, Waterford. It's the Waterford location, which is like right next to UCF. So it's a bunch of college kids working there. Which, listen, I was a college kid, believe it or not. I did take a couple of classes. I had a job while I was in college. I get it.
Yeah.
You don't want to be there.
Sure. Yeah.
And you don't want to be told what to do, and you certainly don't want some fat fucking
mustachioed man
coming up to you and be like, hey man, I can't enjoy these chips. I want better chips. I can't because we eat more chips. I already ate these. It's not good. I want more.
You sound a little English there for a second.
I want these
chips. I can't have these chips. I was supposed to eat more fish if these chips are bad. So I get it,
burrito.
But at the same time, who gives a shit, man? Just give me, give me the fucking chips.
It's their job.
That's how I always felt. As long as somebody to come up, I'm in the service industry. I walk up and I'm like, hey man, how you doing?
That's why it takes so much for you to complain to somebody else in the industry,
right? So
yeah, I get it.
When I've sacked up and I'm like finally ready to complain, I'm doing it in the nicest way possible.
Sure.
And I'm trying to get this done in the most expeditious way that we can do this without troubling anybody.
You come with peace and love.
Yeah. So don't turn it on me.
Yeah.
All right, that's my personal beef. This kind of rolls into the closings and the chapter 11s and 14s and 19s rather that
I didn't know there were that many chapters.
A lot of chapters, dude. Read the book. Read the bankruptcy book.
Oh my goodness.
Red Lobster files for bankruptcy.
Yeah. And
shortly after, Chili's is now closing a bunch of stores.
Yeah.
And, I think it all is kind of going along with people are starting to get radicalized in these small ways.
Yeah.
Where they're like, I'm not going to these places. The quality is lower, the prices are higher, and there is no explanation as to why this is happening, and there's no incentive for me to go. It's getting easier and easier to cook from home. You're getting a lot of food influencers who are showing people how to make the stuff that you like from home. You're all these places, and it's a laundry list of reasons as to why all this stuff is happening. You know, like Chipotle had a chicken shortage recently, where they told their employees, stop eating chicken for a little bit when you're on break, and people were like, "Are you kidding me? You're telling me that on break I have to pick? What if I only eat chicken? What if I don't eat barbacoa? Or if I crazy.
Too bad.
And there's been
got a BYOC.
Bring your own chicken, dog. So they're not explaining to people why this stuff is happening.
Yeah, no, they're not admitting it at all.
Right.
They're just it just happens one day.
Well, I didn't think
that was the news actually locally. Is like employees weren't even told that their stores were closing, and they went to work, and it just said outside like, "We are temporarily closed."
That's crazy.
It's
man.
like, what?
That's crazy. It's scary when you think, like place like Red Lobster. I mean, I haven't been to a Red Lobster in like 15 years, maybe longer than that.
But still, it's like it is such what you perceive as like the stable chain restaurant.
There's always somebody going.
Sure,
you at least you think
like Olive Garden.
Yeah,
you know, like it's one of those.
There. Yeah.
But for them suddenly just to start closing, and I mean Chili's.
Dude,
you kidding me?
Oh, but again, I will say though, I went to a Chili's recently, and it wasn't
quality down.
The food itself was pretty good. The food was still pretty consistent. It was the service
because it all comes out of the freezers.
Right, exactly. So
how do you mess that up?
Yeah, you can't mess that up. But no, the service was a little. I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah,
it's like and again, I'm in the service industry, so I understand the hesitance and the reluctance to like bend over backwards for people. I get it. But it is your job to at least be good at your job, you know? And
try a little.
I sound like a boomer. I know I do, but it's like
these kids don't want to work.
It's not even I get it. I get that you don't want to do some of the stuff and people, and you get dragged down all day by people coming in and just fucking your day up. And I get that. But you don't take that out on me when I come in.
The good customer.
Yeah, when Andy and I come in and we're both in the service industry and we're super nice and tip well and try to make your life as easy as possible. When you say we don't have this, we don't have that, we don't have this.
No problem.
And you don't give any alternatives. You're just like all shoulders, just I don't know what to tell you. It's just like, well, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
At what point do we not get to be, or at what point do I have to become the person that you're forcing me to become? You're putting me in a position where, like,
it becomes a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, like you want to argue about this. You want me to complain to the manager. I would never do that. But you're like forcing me to. It's getting to a point where like they have their. And somebody made this joke that like Chipotle is basically just giving food away. Like they have a $10.99 deal where it's a appetizer, drink, entree, all for just $11, which is a crazy good deal. It's part of the reason we're like, Chili's always holds it down. Let's go to Chili's
for sure.
And they didn't have anything on that menu available. We came in an hour and a half.
We're living in a
closed.
dystopia, my friend.
Dude, and then but the thing was, the person had no answers for us. They just were like, we don't have that. Well, can we like substitute it for something? Nope, can't do it. I'm like, but why?
Yeah.
And we were just like, well, what's the sorry. And then they just sat there. Silent, bro. Just as we like looked over the menu for something else. They just they had no answers. And then they were just like, I'll come back, give you guys a little bit more time. A little bit more time to find an alternative to the fucking you didn't even fucking help. Why am I tipping you? You're not even doing anything.
To have the wrong answer again.
Right. And we still tipped them pretty well because it's like, of course we did.
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel like I'm turning him into my dad, where I'm like, put a couple fucking dollars on the table and be like, for every time you fuck up, I'm gonna take $1 back. I'd never do that.
Yeah, of course not.
Shitty thing.
It's a horrible thing to do.
But anyway.
Yeah. No, I get it, and I think unfortunately it is like this like macro issue that just trickles down to the the part-time employee, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And then it trickles down to the customer eventually.
Yeah.
Because everyone I know is at least aware that things are worse economically than they've been in a few years,
Yeah.
They're feeling worse than they have in a while. And money's not stretching the way it used to.
Right.
And you add on to that, like we've been talking about, the quality of things just seem to not really be hitting the way they used to.
Right.
Whether it's just perception or not. And I think all of that leads to people who are in the service industry being more bitter than they've ever been, because they are dealing with people who, first of all, have a perception that everything's going to be crappy and not going to be up to snuff and are on edge. But then also their money's not stretching as far as it used to either.
Right.
So it's like everyone is kind of struggling. And that leads to worse everything.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, I mean, such as myself, would rather just stay home and cook.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10.
Yeah. A friend of mine kind of said it best. They were basically like, at this point, I'm either going to dive bars because I know it's going to be dirt cheap and the quality's going to be down, but at least I know what I'm getting into, or I'm going out and I'm spending $200 plus on like a really nice restaurant.
That rings true to me.
Yeah.
It's like you either go out knowing you're going to be spending a lot, you stay in, or you go to a place that is a dive or, a hole in the wall. Yeah. That you're kind of insulated from the outside world. Right. And you know the expectations, you know what you're getting, and that's perfectly fine.
Yeah. That mid-tier, that middle class area. Yeah. Where, people keep saying like there's no such, like the middle class is getting smaller and smaller. Yeah. I mean, I think that's a microcosm was the word that I was thinking.
Yeah.
That is a perfect microcosm of that kind of idea of the middle class is shrinking. Yeah. Places to go as a middle class person are shrinking.
I mean, going out in general is such a luxury nowadays. Yeah. It's like, I mean, I was talking to Sherry yesterday, and
wild Sherry appearance.
Yeah, yeah. Podcast mention. And I was having like a really crappy day, and at the end of the day, I got done with work, and I was like, I don't feel good. Like I need to like do something. Yeah. But I don't. I'm in such a funk that I have no idea what to do. It's like it feels like I'm not going to win either way, whether I go out or I stay in. So we went for a walk. And it was a nice walk, even though it was extremely hot outside.
Yeah, it's brutal.
But then we have bars right up the street here. I mean, basically on my block. And Sherry mentioned like, oh, do you want to get a drink? And I was like, yeah, actually, really, I would love that. That sounds great. And she's like, all right, well, we could like go up to the bar up the street if you want. And I was like, I already spent money on beer for the house, so I should just stay in. Yeah. Even though it's going to be less fun, even though I'm not going to get that fix of like being out somewhere, and I'll sacrifice that experience just to stay in and have a beer at home and watch TV. Yeah. And I think a lot of people are making that sacrifice, right, without blinking an eye. Yeah. Yeah. But I really felt it yesterday because I'm like, it would have been so nice to go out, but yeah, I've already spent the money on, food and drink for home. Yeah. So it's one or the other, and the other is exponentially more expensive. Mm-hmm.
And maybe people aren't even thinking about it on that level. They're just going, I've spent my allotted money this week, so yeah, that's it.
I mean, that's kind of where it came from too.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know where we go from here, as far as what's next, what next steps need to take place, because, like you said, this Red Lobster thing, for example, is apparently a temporary closing. But what does that mean? What are they going to do?
I don't believe that for a second. No. And I don't think the employees who walked up to their store and it was locked believe that for a second. Right. I hope they don't, because I want them to start searching for a new job ASAP, because they may have kids, they may be in school.
But where do they go? To the Chipotles that are closed, or the Chili's that are closing?
I mean, and that's the big conundrum here. It's like, what do you do? Because nowhere is doing great, really.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are exceptions, but like, they're hard to find.
Yeah.
And on top of that, chances are they're filled up now because people are so desperate to make money.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I hope all those people land on their feet. And
This
I hope
is
things
depressing.
get better in general because, the service industry people deserve better.
Thanks.
Yeah. And the people who go out and spend their hard-earned money on service deserve better too.
Yeah.
So, the rising tide raises all ships.
That's what they say.
So once people start making more money, once there's, the economy gets better, I think everyone will start feeling better. And it all, it's cyclical, because then people start going out more, people start buying more, and, it all works out in the end.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll keep an eye on that and see if there's any kind of optimism on the horizon for for those things.
I mean, you guys got to tell me about Chipotle, because I'm not going back.
Right, I'm not yet.
I mean, you know what? I'll go as far as getting their chips again.
Okay.
I feel like I can trust in the chips and guac.
Yeah.
I think I can do that.
Yeah. So, speaking of Chipotle and online campaigns that are bubbling to the surface from TikTok to God's ears. I don't know if you've heard, but there's kind of like a how you say global crisis going on.
Como se dice?
Como se dice genocide
Genocide.
happening right now. And it's a very, very loaded topic.
Yeah. We haven't touched on Gaza.
Yeah.
We haven't touched that third rail purposefully, because we like to have a good time here,
Yeah.
despite how much we complain about mundane things.
Right.
I mean, but that's the point, is that it's mundane. So,
Right.
we figure that's what you guys come and tune in for.
Right.
But yeah, I think that we are going to stay focused more on the response of people and what the internet has been trying to do to raise awareness for Palestine, without delving completely into the genocide.
Right.
Because that is far too dark for our beer podcast.
Yeah. We're not going to try to dip into the politics of it all.
Right.
Free Palestine. That's
Yeah, I agree. But I think the interesting conversation to have, especially right now, is this whole hashtag Blackout 2024 campaign that's been going on Twitter and on TikTok. Which is essentially, a lot of people are deciding to judge celebrities based on their their response and their vocalness. Is that a word? Vocalness?
vocalization.
Their loudness around the topic. And so there's been this entire swath of it's gotten pretty viral of people saying, like, X celebrity should not be followed anymore. I am unfollowing this celebrity because they have not spoken up about Palestine enough.
Yeah.
And there's been this now conversation around it, because even I've seen from people who, generally support speaking out against the genocide in Palestine and Palestinians, actually pushing back against this and saying it's all performative, and it's more of like the infamous black square, and that it's actually more detrimental to legitimate causes that are trying to do good in Gaza, as opposed to, actually trying to get a message out and get money sent to the right places, get funding sent to the right places, get supplies sent to the right places. And I'm just really curious as to what you think about that, because personally, I think it's such a quagmire that it's like, it's hard. Like, I've been spending this week trying to like Rubik's Cube it in my own mind to say, like, on one hand, there's a good point there, because people that have a platform far bigger than ours, I feel like do have a responsibility to some degree to speak out about their beliefs, you know?
Yeah.
And especially something as dire as this is, I do think that there is some responsibility. And if you don't speak up, then it does say something about your beliefs and your politics.
Yeah.
Whether you mean it to or not. I don't think that staying silent is as sort of deflecting as somebody may think it is. It says something about what you believe.
Yeah.
By staying silent.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's escapable in the way that a lot of celebrities think it is. But at the same time, I also think that kind of nitpicking celebrities for not being more vocal is also a bit of a waste of time. Because there is too much of an obsession on, Billie Eilish didn't say anything at her last concert about Palestine, so we have to put her on the list, we have to block her, and that way I think like there is an unfortunate like cancel culture movement that people are more excited about that than they are about actually helping Palestinians and helping to, stop funding a genocide.
Yeah. Right.
So that was long-winded. I'm sorry.
No.
I hand it off to you, my friend. What do you think? Because I don't have an answer is what my answer is. Is like, I don't know, but it's complicated is my response to
long-winded, you say?
Yes.
Strap in. No, I'm not going to go that long. I think that...
Thank God.
I think that expecting celebrities to have a voice and to do something and to use their significant resources, money, and connections to voice support for the Palestinian people. Expecting them to do that, I think, has something to do with like having a parasocial relationship with these people. I think that you relate to these people in a way that you shouldn't. I think that the reason that some of these people, not everybody, but I think that some of these people are expecting these things from celebrities because their relationship to them is a reflection of their own values. And so they say to themselves, this is my favorite artist, and how can my favorite artist not say anything? And what does that say about me that I love this person so much? And they don't have a voice. They're not doing anything. They're not, and maybe they're a Zionist. Maybe they're completely opposite of my own beliefs.
Or at very least complicit in Zionism and genocide.
So I do think that if you expect those things out of the people that you love as far as these celebrities are concerned, and they don't do those things, and you find it necessary to block them or unfollow them or stop being a fan of them, I think you're well within your rights to do that.
Absolutely.
I think that I do think that it's also, I think it's working because these celebrities are now speaking up.
You saw it with Lizzo recently.
Yeah.
Like she's one of the biggest celebrities to like come out and be like, hey, you guys showed that I should say something.
Right. And yeah, but that part of it is also revealing because it's like, well, you could have said anything at any point and you chose not to. I think that some people, as much as some people don't want to hear this, some of these people are not political people. They're not smart people. They're not paying attention. They're not. And again, I'm not excusing not doing something, because if you read and you see what's actually happening over there, and you can affect change over there in any way, donating money, using your voice, using your powerful celebrity.
You see what like Jose Andres has been doing, you know, like Jose Andres, the chef, the celebrity chef.
No, I haven't seen what he's been.
Yeah, the World Kitchen or whatever it is that, you know, he had, I think it was excuse me if I get this wrong, but I think it was like 4 or 5 people who've been helping to try to get food to starving civilians.
Yeah.
Got killed. They got bombed.
Yeah.
And, you know, like that's a perfect example of 7 people. Even worse.
Yeah.
But, you know, like he's a celebrity chef who puts his money where his mouth is. And, you know, he's enacting change by actually doing stuff.
Yeah.
And not just saying stuff on the internet.
Yeah. Yeah. And The Weeknd, another one.
Yeah.
You know, donating millions of dollars, donating food, like doing what he can. Everybody who has the power to do something should do something. That's what I believe.
Sure.
I believe if
you can do good, why would you not do it?
Right. And I do think that if you're a fan of these people and they don't do something and you go, well, if you're not going to do anything, that I can't continue to support you, by all means do that, because it is forcing people. And I've had this kind of thought process, or Rubik's cubing, if you will, this thought process of whatever the intentions of these people are, if it's helping somebody, then is it bad? And I think about it like, if you gave a homeless person money but you did it on camera, you still gave them money. Now you benefited, and that's raising your profile, and maybe that makes you feel good about yourself or whatever. And we can have the moral discussion of, you know, how disgusting that is or whatever. But the end result was a person who needed money got money, right?
Yeah,
A person who needed food got food. Same thing with these celebrities. I think shaming these people into doing something,
it's not even doing something, it's saying something.
I think if you're going to do it, then you go further than making them just say something, because we've already seen that thoughts and prayers and
slip
words,
service.
Exactly. And a lot of these people think that they can just get away with saying free Palestine, or I support the Palestinian people, wear a little pin, and then they can wait for it to blow over and then come back and promote their new album. If you really want to affect change, you stay on their necks and you make them actually do something.
Yeah.
Because I think anything less than that, and it's a waste of time. So that's really the whole Blackout thing. I believe if you're going to do it, fucking
take it all the way.
Take it all the way. Yeah. That's my thought on it. Is I don't know how effective the movement is actually going to be in the long run, but it is hurting these people's pockets.
Sure.
And that's the only thing that they care about, most of them. So if you're hurting their bottom line, and they feel like the only way to get back in your good graces is to donate or to, you know, do something more than what they've been doing, then continue to force them to do that. Now, I don't know if we should be wasting energy on fucking, you know, these celebrities who, I don't look to these people for guidance or any kind of moral compass, or I just don't. So I don't look at them and go, why aren't you saying? I know why they're not saying nothing.
Yeah.
I know why. So why should I? You know, I don't reflect my own values in these people.
Right. And you know, I have a theory here, and it's a game theory. It's not a game theory. But I think that Zoomers are obviously far more militant than we ever were.
Yeah.
And we were kind of militant for some things.
Yeah.
But I think they have kind of taken on the mantle of being this ultra militant, no nonsense kind of generation.
Yeah.
That is going to take things as far as possible, for better or worse. And I think because of that, because it's a younger and I mean, even whoever's below them, I don't know, what are they called? The Gen
Alpha?
Alpha? Yeah, the Alphas.
I don't know.
The Alphas?
I think so.
I think them and the Alphas are still kind of latched onto celebrity culture in a way that is really important to them.
Yeah.
And is really important to their, like, But their own personality.
And that's where you get this blackout movement. It's like people of our generation and older,
We've washed out. Like
Right.
it's over for us.
right? So we're not looking at these celebrities like they're burnouts like we are. So like
Yeah.
I don't look at the people who are older than me or around my age and think like, you should be doing something about this. But younger people, they do have that like connection to these. I mean, they a lot of their
It's like we did at the back in the day. you
right.
know?
So yeah, you're right. They are more militant. They are going to. They're more radicalized, and that also has to do with probably the perforation of this information. It's way easier to see the stuff that's going on. And it's way easier to. And that's going back to TikTok. I mean, that's what a lot of people are saying. The reason that they want to ban it is not that it has anything to do with an algorithm or China. It's the fact that.
Algorithm.
It has nothing to do with any of that. It is the fact that you can get boots on the ground information almost instantaneously.
Yeah.
And they don't like the fact that we know what's going on over there. They don't want us to know. And so these people who are the TikTok generation, quote unquote, they're on there all the time, and they're seeing this stuff, and they're getting radicalized, and they're going,
Sure.
We need to do something. We're people in a far better situation than people in the Middle East. We have resources, we have money. Why aren't our politicians and our celebrities and all the people, the ruling class, doing anything about this? And instead, they're watching. They're watching us. They are watching us give billions of dollars to the war efforts on the other side. And you're just like, what is happening?
We're an American man.
So I'm not surprised by any of this stuff. I applaud the people that are doing this. I applaud the people that keep their foot on the necks of these people and force them to do something. The only thing that I guess the way I'll just wrap this up is just like some of the celebrities that people are going or that you're looking toward, like the one girl who I don't even know her name, but she was invited to the Met Gala. All this controversy with the Let Them Eat Cake thing.
Yeah.
And it's just like, super tone deaf, terribly timed, just awful all around.
Sure.
But are you looking at this person and going like, what's her thoughts on this conflict?
Yeah.
Stupid. I just don't. That's really my thing. Is like, people are doing it themselves right now. People are cooking themselves. People are making Chipotle's vinaigrette at home.
Yeah.
And they're also affecting change without the need of these people. And maybe once these celebrities see that we don't need them, maybe that will be they'll finally go, maybe I do need to pay attention more and do more.
Yeah.
And this blockout thing may be the catalyst for that change. And maybe it will force people who I believe don't pay attention to pay attention. And maybe that will be like a good outcome for all of this.
Sure.
So I'm not. So I guess that's really, I think that people should continue doing this shit and keep, but some of the people that you expect to be intelligent on these matters, and when they're not, it's like, how can you really be disappointed in some of these people? It's just like, yeah, but I mean, look, they're stupid. You knew that they were stupid. Like, why?
They don't have.
I don't know what you expected from some of these people.
They don't have an opinion.
Yeah.
They just sing good.
Of course they don't have an opinion. They never had an opinion. They never
Right.
were going to have an opinion.
Right. Don't look for them for an opinion on
Yeah,
this.
did you start listening to their album about, teenage love songs and nothing else there, and then go, I wonder what their thoughts on Black Lives Matter. I wonder how they feel about the civil rights movement.
Yeah.
Like, no. Now, I will say I am disappointed in people who do touch on those topics, who do speak on political matters, and who do seem to have a voice.
Yeah.
Who think they're the voice of the voiceless, if you will,
Sure.
and are not speaking up more and are not doing more. Those people, I do think, should be ashamed of themselves if they're not being loud about what's going on over there.
Yeah.
What's happening to these people.
Sure.
So there is that.
Yeah, that was a big controversy for a while about idols. because they didn't post on social media like Free Palestine or whatever.
Yeah.
But they had been somewhat outspoken about it, but that wasn't enough for the people looking for it on the internet.
See, and that's a really good example, because a band like Idols is politically charged.
Yeah.
And their content and their songs are about that kind of thing. So if you're a fan of Idols and you're looking at them and they're silent on this, you are perfectly well within your rights and reason to say, what the fuck?
Yeah. Come on.
Like,
do something.
You guys should, of all current bands right now, you guys should be the ones who are spearheading a movement.
Right. And they've, to their credit, they've gone back and the lead guitarist is wearing the Free Palestine shirt and stuff, and they've been more outspoken since there's been this outrage around it. But
well, the Weeknd shouldn't be the only person donating millions of dollars. Let's put it at that.
Yeah,
it's crazy that it's just him.
Well, and I, far be it from me to support Drake, but he was outspoken about Palestine before this all happened.
Certified lover boy.
Certified PDF file. A broken clock.
Exactly.
What can you say?
So
what can you say?
Yeah. I mean, we have a smaller platform than someone like Drake. But,
what?
I think we'll try to find maybe some links to donate at least. Well,
I definitely want to send some links about the Jose Andres food. It's like a food bank essentially. Because I've been following that organization for a long time, because they've consistently helped people in need. And I think he deserves a tip of the hat. Not getting my cheers of the week, but a definite tip of the hat.
Not getting my cheers of the week.
Definite tip of the hat.
All right.
So
no cheers of the week for you. Sorry, Chef.
It was taken. Otherwise, I would have given it to you. Okay.
Sorry, Chef. No cheers.
I love you, Chef.
All right. Let's upswing a little bit.
Okay.
And let's go into
ass.
Kind of a hard left turn, but we're going to talk about Assassin's Creed.
Oh, we've been hard left for a long time, brother.
So
lefties.
Finally, Ubisoft, in what seems like really funny timing, where they're like, "Listen, look over there, Assassin's Creed."
Everything's fine.
They're coming out finally with Assassin's Creed Shadows, which is their long anticipated, long sought after, highly requested.
Why did it take this long?
Feudal Japan Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah,
and the star of the game, the protagonist,
at least one of them,
has been confirmed to be Yasuke. The very famous mythological first black samurai.
Yeah.
And then a woman is going to play the second protagonist.
Yes.
She's going to be a ninja. A shinobi. Noah. She's a fictional character for the game.
Yeah.
Nohai, I think. I can't remember what her character's name was, but so this is just announced. And literally as of this recording, just announced maybe like an hour ago.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I will say I haven't played an Assassin's Creed game in a long time. I haven't played Origins or Odyssey or anything like that. So I think maybe I'm not gonna say too little, too late, because it sounds like it's going to be, 6 fun.
To be fair, we've only seen cinematic trailer, so we haven't seen any gameplay yet.
Yeah,
so
but it's Assassin's Creed.
You say that. You say that. Okay, but Assassin's Creed is like two very distinct gameplay styles.
Yeah.
So there's the old school Assassin's Creed style that a lot of people like, from Assassin's Creed 1 out to like Syndicate, I think.
Yeah.
Right? Is that the last one that they did in that I forget. But then we get like Origins and Odyssey, and
Valhalla.
And those are all like these much bigger open world games that are, way removed from the original stealth action game that Assassin's Creed used to be. It's much more of an action, almost role-playing game in a way, with lots of leveling up, lots of customization, a huge open world, a plethora of checkboxes to go through, lots of side quests, like humongous games. To the detriment of the gameplay experience for some people with Valhalla, especially people saying it's like a game that never ends, which I actually agree with. I think it was my first PS5 game.
Oh.
And I beat the hell out of that game because it's the only game I had.
Right.
But it was, I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool. I like Viking stuff. So, up my alley. But a lot of people have, especially recently, kind of washed out of that style of Assassin's Creed. Because it's, it's pretty formulaic. It can be overbearing. It can be overwhelming. And a lot of people have been asking for a smaller, like, Assassin's Creed 2 or Brotherhood style game.
Well, they did not do that with this.
Doesn't look like it. It does not look like it.
Purported to be as big or bigger than Origins.
Oof.
So it's not going to be it's not going to be scaled back. So
yeah,
you can get that out of your minds right now.
Okay. So yeah, the Shinobi is Naoi. Which is best of both worlds. It looks like, according to IGN, because Naoi is going to be the stealthy option. The action-oriented is going to be Yasuke.
Oh, cool.
So you have the option of playing it more of like a stealth game versus an action game.
Yeah. I like that.
That's a smart idea.
Yeah.
I'll give it to Ubisoft on that.
Yeah. Very rare we can give them credit for things nowadays.
I'd rather not, but,
Yeah.
Credit where credit's due.
Already some controversy coming out of this, other than the fact that it's a black man and a woman as the protagonists of this game, which there are going to be some very, very cool takes.
There already are.
But, okay, before we get into that, the game is apparently like an online, always online game that people have been sick of. And Ubisoft
I knew there was a catch.
That's the rumor. I think I read somewhere that it's already being reported that it's going to be an always online game.
Again, according to IGN, Shadows looks to evolve the open world RPG genre in a myriad ways, such as through a season cycle. That means that just as days naturally change to nights in video games, the world of Shadows moves from spring to summer to fall and to winter. Each season brings with it new gameplay elements, like underwater entrances being frozen over and inaccessible during the winter, luscious crops providing cover for stealth conquests in the spring, and more.
Oh, yeah. No, that's good. Take away, because you want, like, frozen places. You want it to look cool.
You want people to stay playing the game.
Yeah.
And when you're in winter playing it, you go, well, I got to keep playing until spring to see this thing melt. Till literal spring.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
I mean, if the gameplay is good, if the story's good, if they don't exploit
their
gamers
Ubisoft
here.
Don't exploit challenge.
Yeah,
impossible.
Then I could see people sticking around.
Nah, I mean they will, because as much shit as people talk about Ubisoft games, Assassin's Creed games, they're gonna play these games despite themselves. So
I don't know, man. I think Assassin's Creed is a dying franchise.
Well, I think that. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And I think that the reason that, and that's kind of what I was referencing before, is like the timing of this is interesting. Ubisoft is getting a lot of bad press, and then you turn around and you finally announce the game that everyone's been asking you to do for the past 10 years.
It feels like a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, we'll unlock this for you.
Yeah. Because they had ample opportunity to do this before. In the moments when people are like, when are you going to make a feudal Japan game? They were like, maybe we will, maybe we won't.
Look, Japan's done it. America's done it. Like, we don't need an Ubisoft version of this anymore.
We don't.
We need Ghost of Tsushima 2.
Exactly.
And that's coming.
Yep.
So it's like, why will we go to this like historically exploitive platform to play a game that is better from another studio that's far less exploitive? Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like,
nope.
I don't see this working out. As cool as it seems on paper, as cool as it seems, I'm totally into that character combination and the options of playing missions, stealthy or action oriented. I think that's a brilliant idea, but I think it's too little, too late.
I for one, as a mixed race person, I love seeing.
As a Japanese man myself, I am happy that they're using this character, this person, this historical figure to work into the samurai thing. I will say, I'm not one of these people that's like, because there's a lot of black folks that are like, if you want more black characters, like write more black stories instead of like taking or like race switching characters and stuff like that. I've seen that take from like black conservatives and stuff like that. And I don't agree with those takes. But I will say that it does seem odd because as far as I understand, and I could be wrong. The one black guy in Japan. Historically.
Yeah. His story is not that he didn't
qualified?
do much.
Yeah.
He's real and he was there and he fought some guys, but as far as like his place in history, he didn't really do. And again, I could be wrong. I'm like 90% sure I read a story about the fact that like he didn't really do a lot. It's one of those things where it's like, well, he was the first, but
he wasn't like a warlord
because he never could be. He was a black guy in Japan.
Yeah,
they were never gonna like.
Yeah, he was like the definition of tokenized.
Yeah,
they saw him as like, we have a black guy here,
right?
Like it was so strange they had to write it down in the history books,
right? So to use him as your protagonist in this action RPG just strikes me as odd because it's like, I don't know, man. It seems a little exploitive, a little performative to be like, we're gonna make a samurai game, but not just any samurai game. We're gonna make Assassin's Creed Samurai, and it's gonna be based around the first black samurai. Well, how you like them apples? And it's like, all right, cool. I'm excited, but also like, maybe just make him a black samurai and then say we base these stories around Yasuke because he's a real figure, so it's not outside the realm of possibility for this to happen.
Yeah.
And now he's going to be in this fictional world that we're creating, but it's going to be a different character.
It's just historical fiction.
Right.
Yeah.
But to use the actual person, it's just kind of like, I don't know what your intent there is.
Yeah.
It just seems like, I don't know, it seems reaching a little bit.
I agree. I think that there is some wiggle room within the Assassin's Creed universe just based on, the sci-fi elements of it to be more of a fantasy as opposed to, true events.
I guess that's how they always go.
Yeah,
They're always like a rewrite of history.
Sure. There is a lot of it that's like, this is what actually happened.
Yeah. And
this is like the untold history.
Or this is how the assassins play into this thing that actually happened behind the scenes.
Right. So I could see that working in a way of like, yeah, of course Yasuke's true story isn't told in the history books.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they're smart enough to play into that. I think they may just be like, yeah, it could have happened.
Okay, it could have happened. Maybe, I don't know.
Please buy this, black people.
Yeah.
All right.
Not to mention then having a female protagonist and you're just waiting for the angry neckbeards to jump online and be like, first a black guy,
now a woman.
So, not to say that should stop you from making the game that you want to make. Fuck
Absolutely
those people.
not. Yeah.
But it is just really
hey man, if they got the story, I say more power to them.
I just like it. I just like the fact that they went for the double whammy.
Yeah, doubling down.
Yeah,
literally doubling down.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. This was just announced, fresh.
Yeah.
So we'll see how the game looks. Like you said, though, if there's any samurai game that I'm excited about, it's Ghost of Tsushima.
Of course.
So
Yeah.
it's really
Much better track record.
yeah. So far, so good.
Yeah. Agreed.
So far, so good.
Agreed.
So good that I've been thinking about jumping back in before the new one comes out and kind of just get
Yeah.
jump on my horse, ride around, do some Legends stuff.
I got my platinum trophy on that. I'm good.
You platinumed it?
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, buddy.
I don't know if I've ever platinumed the game before.
You had to have by accident.
I don't think so.
Mm.
I think the closest I got was with Overwatch, just by nature of playing it so much
Yeah.
and trying to play every character. But yeah, I don't know if I ever have. Yeah. So that's for you, gamer girls.
Mm.
I'm non-committal. Everything. All right. I think we got it, right?
I know we got it.
Well, not yet. Not yet. Because we got two things that we got to do before we get out of here. And you know what those two things are. Number one, it's the cheers of the week, babe. So, Obi, tell the people what you're cheersing tonight.
My cheers of the week goes to Criterion Collection's Eclipse Collection.
Ooh. Sounds sexy.
So, after the show last week, we went ahead and watched a movie from the Nikatsu Noir. Speaking of Japan, Nikatsu Noir collection of movies. And watching that, and then watching some of the Kenji Mizoguchi Fallen Women collection. I got both of them on sale. Has opened my eyes to the fact that I've really been neglecting the Eclipse collection from the Criterion Collection. Because my entire ethos here is like, I will buy the hell out of some Criterion Collection movies.
Oh, we know you will.
But my kind of thing now is that in order to like keep myself from buying something literally every week, I will only buy the movies I want in 4K.
Okay.
However, the Eclipse Collection are far lesser known movies, only presented in DVD, which is like VHS nowadays.
Yeah. Ew, DVD.
But after watching 3 of these movies in these collections, I mean, I think these movies deserve to be preserved and deserve to be enjoyed. And despite the, I guess, like, I'll use air quotes, low quality of them physically, they still pack as much punch as they would have otherwise.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend you guys check out the Eclipse collection from Criterion, especially when they're on sale. They tend to be a little bit cheaper than the 4Ks, and they come with 4 or 5 movies collected in a package for you that summarize like a specific movement or director.
Yeah.
And I just think that's so cool. And as every Criterion collection comes with it, there's like a write-up on the history of the movie and like the director and things like that. So all I have to say, highly recommend you check out the Eclipse collection.
All right. My cheers of the week is going to that Simpsons tweet.
Oh, okay.
You like that? And I guess the broader idea of nostalgia and appreciating things that maybe you wouldn't have appreciated without the prompting of something like this.
Yeah.
Somebody tweeted, basically, show me your best, or tell me your best or favorite Simpsons joke through GIF form or a short video or whatever on Twitter. And I mean, just going through all the quotes really kind of exemplifies the genius of the writing in the first season up until the 10th or 11th season.
Yeah.
And I hate to be that guy, but I'm going to be that guy. They just don't do them like they used to, man. They just don't make shows like this. And in fact, they don't even make The Simpsons like this anymore. No. And somebody said it, and I don't know who, so sorry I'm not crediting you, but basically they said that the first writers of The Simpsons were writing a show. They were weird, quirky, nerdy comic guys.
Yeah.
They were people who
Conan.
appreciated. Yeah, it was people like Conan O'Brien. The people who write The Simpsons now are writing The Simpsons. They're fans of the show, and they're trying to continue that mythology. But they know what The Simpsons are. They're fans of the series. So it's kind of harder to have an organic, weirder take on a show that's been going on for 30 years, basically. And they're trying to replicate the genius of the first like 10 to 12 years.
And they're too reverential to it.
Yeah, they're just
and
way
referential.
Too, way, way, way too reverential.
Yeah.
About a show that like you're currently writing. You can't continue to be like, remember this? SpongeBob started doing that.
Yeah.
Where they started doing, like in the later seasons, they have a whole episode about the My Leg reference. That's it.
Yeah.
Why he screams that. Why would you do that?
No.
In what universe do we need that explained?
Star Wars.
yeah, exactly.
Because they just keep doing that.
And it's like, dude, we don't need all of this. Like, the point of some of this stuff, the beauty of some of it is
just
like
silly.
You just got the thing, and that was it. We don't need an explanation for everything. Everything doesn't need to be explored and extrapolated.
And it doesn't all like my biggest critique of modern day Simpsons after seeing a handful of episodes is that it is oftentimes too timely.
Yeah.
They reference like something that happened last week.
Yeah.
It's like
it's like fucking Law and Order.
Yeah, like what are you doing here?
We don't need that because it's going to be a snapshot of that specific year.
Right.
And the Simpsons earlier were like a snapshot of that era.
Yeah.
Of what was going on.
But they still work.
Yeah.
Like I feel like if you go back 10 years from now and look at The Simpsons that airs this week, it's going to age like milk.
Yeah.
It's not going to work as good as some of the 90s era Simpsons.
Yeah. They started to believe their own hype, man. It was hubris. That's what it was. Because the stuff, like when people are like, "This is the Simpsons already did it," or "The Simpsons predicted it."
Yeah.
It's because you had a team of writers going, "Wouldn't it be crazy if Donald Trump won the presidency?"
Yeah.
You had a team of people going like, "How do we explore that? What's funny about that?"
But not
Why
because
is it
they
so-
thought it would happen.
No, but because it was so
absurd.
zany and weird,
Yeah.
and like who is the least likely to do something like this? And then when it happens, you go, "Oh my god, I can't believe!" But it was because you had smart comedic minds going
and
like,
we're living in the dumbest era.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you don't try to replicate. You don't do it on purpose. You just do it.
Yeah.
You just write it. So yeah, some of the jokes and to
Don't
the,
try, dude.
to the earlier point, the timeliness of the jokes. I'm watching them in 2024, and some of them are still so funny because it's just like that's a funny way to frame that, or like that's just a weird thing to do in a show. And it's like it doesn't have to be. Oh wow, that's really timely. That's really funny because
I
they
get that
reference
reference.
that thing. Yeah, it's like no, that is just a funny joke. That's just a funny joke.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we will never probably return to shows that are that good.
We'll see.
No, we won't.
Okay. Here.
I like Smiling Friends though.
Smiling Friends is good. Yeah. Sherry almost barfed on the second episode.
I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, there's a really gross guy that's actually like he's a live action human.
Yeah.
In it.
That's good.
Yeah.
Do they really try to make the president smile?
Yeah.
They do?
Yeah. I didn't want to spoil it, but yeah, that's the whole
Well,
bit.
that's the end of the first episode. So
right.
I didn't know if they were actually
no,
going to
it rolls right into that.
Okay, cool. All right.
But the president is an actual human being.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to watch it. I really want to
it's
watch
good.
it.
It's good.
All right. I can't watch any TV shows unless we get finished with this
It's true.
Podcast. Fucking podcast.
Please.
So, Obi, tell me what you thought of the Treasure Kolsch from Walking Tree Brewery.
I'm a big Kolsch head.
Yeah.
I enjoy me a Kolsch.
Some Kolsch heads.
A Kolsch. And I will say this is a very good Kolsch.
It's a good Kolsch.
It's a good Kolsch.
Real good Kolsch.
I do get a bit of everything they say is in the tasting notes. A bit of citrus, a bit of melon, a bit of bread. Easily crushed, obviously. At 5%, you know, right there in that sweet spot for crushability without being too wimpy and losing flavor. Yeah, man, I'm going to give this a 5. I really enjoyed this one. I would have again.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Whether or not looking at butts.
I have to go a little bit lower and give it a 4.5. Simply because I wasn't really rocking with how citrusy it was. Kind of wasn't working for me.
Okay.
But I had to... excuse me. I had to give it a higher score. I had to bump it up a few notches because I really, really get the tasting notes in this.
Yeah.
The melon comes through, the breadiness, the citrus obviously was my issue with it.
For sure.
This is a really well-made Kolsch. They did exactly what they were going for. So I give them a lot of credit for that. But the citrus was a little too much for me.
It's fair.
On this. Wasn't really digging it that much. I mean, it's still a good beer.
Yeah.
4.5. I still got to give it. Well made, well done. Just might not be for everybody if you're looking for a more traditional Kolsch.
Yeah, I can see that.
Maybe Reisdorf or
Red light.
the Crude Kolsch. The Crude Kolsch. Probably the Kolschiest Kolsch of all. You know we had to do at least one Trump impression. Can't have an episode without it.
Of course.
So, a 4.5 for myself and a 5 for you, good sir. Now you think we got it?
I know we got it.
Well, if Obi says we got it, then that means this episode is over. This has been the One Beer In podcast for myself, Marco Dupa, for Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Yeah, buddy.
Thank you guys for listening. Drink delicious beer and have yourself a beautiful evening.
We love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.